Hello, welcome or welcome back to A Cup of Art. I am your host Star, and today as an artist myself, I'll be talking about my biggest pet peeves and problems I strongly dislike within the art community. Let me know if you agree with any of the points I will be saying, or if you have your own pet peeves and dislikes that I didn't mention. Now, let's begin. Artists typically have pet peeves or annoyances because of expensive art supplies or cheap art supplies. Those points are valid, but I'll go beyond talking about them. My list will be in no particular order. Pet peeve number 1. Self-deprecating comments when you compliment someone else. When I tell you that this irks me so much, it could be anyone with a small following or big one. Either way, it 1. downplays your own worth and you should be proud of your work, and 2. especially when it comes to someone who has a higher following than you, it gets me mad when they say something like that, because if their work is deemed bad, then it only makes sense you see your work worse, especially when it's hard for you to get a following in the first place. And 3. You don't need to compare art to give someone a compliment, and you really shouldn't do that in the first place. Lastly, 4. When those who comment don't draw and they say something like, your art is amazing, I can never do that, or I can only draw stick figures. I get what you're trying to say, however, it doesn't feel nice when you do. Plus, art isn't talent, it's a learned skill, so anyone has the ability to draw if you just try. Pet peeve number 2. References and 3D models are considered cheating. I absolutely disagree. 1, reference is good to get ideas on themes for your drawing, setting, composition, and helps for specific things like hairstyle, clothing designs, and color palettes. Some artists already have an idea of what they want to draw and draw it. Others have an idea but need help with poses and body sizes and use references for that, or need help with how to paint water and find references for that. And other artists have no idea what to draw and need to go through sites like Pinterest or Instagram to get inspired, and that's 100% okay. Any artist will tell you using a reference is not cheating. It's a good way of practice. Same with using 3D models. Whether you use it as a reference or trace over it. Now, I don't like people who trace over art, photography, or anything of those sorts unless it's your own. However, I think 3D models are different. It's different when artists themselves made models or even custom stamp brushes for themselves and other artists for help. Some artists don't care about learning all the fundamentals, especially when artists for themselves and they have no interest in working in the industry. There are people in the industry like comic artists, webcomic artists, or mangakas who draw or use 3D models for faces, anatomy, or backgrounds. It's more common than you think. It isn't a form of cheating. That artist isn't stealing anything when the model was made for what they are using it for. Pet peeve number 3. The people who draw the same thing. I'm not talking about if you only draw girls or furries or environment. I'm talking about you drawing the exact same thing. Same color palette, same pose, same background, etc. There are no differences between the artworks, yet these artists build a following, and I just can't understand why. Disclaimer, I don't hate their art, nor do I think they are bad artists. I am just pointing out what I don't like as an artist myself and see no wrong for those who are like that. I just think you should branch out of your comfort zone or you won't ever expand as an artist. 4. That you need to go to art school to become an artist. Now, I don't know the course at art school, so I can't speak on it entirely, but I don't think art students are better than those who don't go. And you don't need to go there to be a true artist. Yes, there might be certain stuff you can learn there, and there are projects you do that you won't think of doing at your own, or you can go out of your comfort zone. But things you can learn at school can be taught online with charged classes or even free ones. There are numerous websites, YouTube videos, and tips and tutorials made by artists for free to help other artists and beginners. Also, the industry is changing and has been for a while now. There are artists who can get art-related jobs without having a degree. So continue to pursue art and don't worry about not being a true artist or a true or successful artist just because you didn't go to art school. 5. Whitewashing. I feel like a broken record about this topic and about how representation matters and how you shouldn't erase POC racial features and hair textures, no matter the race or ethnicity. At this point, I feel like people who do this, I'm talking about the ones who go to the extreme with it, not artists who just slightly lighten the skin color. I'm talking about the ones who go the whole 9 yards, like changing curls or straight hair or making brown and black people completely white or close to. So yeah, I feel like the people who do this are mainly fan artists, so that's the ones I'm talking about. But if artists can't see the problem with this, then I just have no hope for them and won't bother following them. 6. Along with that are artists who claim to draw someone Asian or black, but they look nothing like that. Please look up references or look at other artists who have similar styles to you and see how they draw ethnic features. 7. Older artists who are discouraged to draw because there are younger artists who are better than them or who have more and longer experience than them. As a 19-year-old artist, I sometimes see artists that are 14-year-olds who are skilled when I wasn't at that age, but that's because they started earlier than I did and actually tried to learn, and I started later around 16 to 17 years old. Starting later and not being skilled yet with anatomy like a younger artist doesn't make you bad. Just learn and flourish for yourself. 8. Commission prices. I understand artists shouldn't undervalue themselves, but a beginner commissioner who does low prices shouldn't be belittled or hated or spammed about their low prices. People need to start somewhere and build a following first and can't charge $50, $100 or more just because an experienced artist does the same thing. For me, when I started my commissions on Ko-Fi, I priced my commissions at a price that I think was fair. However, with no attraction to any of my social media accounts, it wasn't like anyone saw that. My commissions are still up if anyone wants to check them out, and I think they're reasonable, but I know they could go slightly higher. But I just know that if I go any higher, I can guarantee no callers at all. 9. Harassment. So many times artists are harassed for their work or art style, and then the whole art community gangs up on them, especially when it's unneeded and they did nothing wrong. However, when a horrible artist actually does do something bad, not many people know about it, or do they get called out for it. 10. Competitiveness. Oh my god, I don't even think I said that right. Artists are always going against each other. It's hard to make any art friends, and I really do want art friends. I've joined so many IG collabs, and every time I do, I make sure to interact with other art, like liking and sharing them, and I don't get anything in return. And I'm not saying I'm obligated to though. But it does get frustrating when all the artists in the group chat interact with each other or comment and talk to each other, and you are left out of the conversation. Or an artist only talks to those with higher followings than them, and since you have something lower, like under 100 like me, don't count on other artists to talk to you. At least that's what happened in my experience. A lot of artists believe they're better and compete against you or won't interact with you. It's a frustrating field to be in, and I think we should be lifting each other up and not bringing them down with secret chats or isolations of other artists. So if you're a small artist, please leave your @ below on whatever social media site you use. I would love to follow you. 11. Critiques that weren't asked for. If an artist asks for critiques or suggestions, provide them kindly. But if they're just showing their art, stop hating on their style of choice and of drawing. No one asked for it. 12. Reposters. I don't mind if you repost someone's art through your stories on Instagram because that is sharing that artist's art and will help them in the long run. But reposting accounts will always rub me the wrong way because those artists get the benefit and rise with the algorithm because they don't actually make what they post. I don't see a good thing with these reposting art accounts at all. So that is the last of my list. I did only talk about the art community side of my pet peeves, but if you want me to talk about anything more specifically on actual art that I really don't like or art tips I have problems with, then let me know because I do have a lot of them. Regardless, I hope you liked the video. Tell me your pet peeves or annoyances you have with the art community down below. Let me know your @ if you're an artist, especially a small one, and Jen and I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Peace.